want to bring in former Democratic vice presidential candidate Joe Lieberman, along with former Republican presidential candidate Jon Huntsman. Good to see you both, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us.
You too, Maria.
Thanks, Maria. Pleasure.
And I want to start with what you're doing, because what you're doing, gentlemen, is trying to bring people together. Obviously, coming up with this group that has no labels. Tell us about it, Joe Lieberman.
Absolutely right. No Labels has existed for about 6 years. John and I are the co-chairs. It's the new center of American politics. It's a place where Democrats, Republicans, Independents can come together to try to get something done in our government. And we think the time is right after this election, particularly to work with the president-elect. We're announcing 2 big things today: a problem solvers bipartisan caucus in Congress of at least 50 members. And then we're creating a super PAC, wish we could come up with a better term, with a goal of raising $50 million to support candidates for Congress who, when it comes to the big votes, say no to the party's leadership, say no to the interest groups. I'm going to do what I think is right and negotiate a compromise with the other party to get something done for our country. So that's what No Labels is about today.
After such an incredible year that we had, Governor Huntsman, obviously you want to try to get people to forget their labels, Republican, Democrat, Independent, and just try to get things done. That's the point.
Well, listen, Maria, first of all, it's a great pleasure to serve alongside somebody as great as Joe Lieberman.
Thank you,
but
John.
let me put it this way. This is the first time in 8 years that we've really had an environment for deal-making and problem-solving. So we see the next 100 days, 6 months, the first year of a President Trump administration as being absolutely critical in getting the big things done. Now, that takes me back to the geography that we cover here in this organization. We'll have about 50 members of Congress, 50, with us today, half Republicans, half Democrats, all of whom are willing to roll up their sleeves and get some important things done for the new president. So whether it's health care reform, whether it's tax reform, infrastructure, this is the kind of team you're going to need to get it done. Otherwise, we're going to have a replay of what we saw 8 years ago: health care reform, Obamacare, slam down people's throats, a straight-line party vote, and now people are looking to completely redo it. It's been a waste of time, and we don't want to repeat that history.
Which is why President-elect Trump, looking through, beyond party lines and bringing lots of different people in to Trump Tower to talk to him about positions, is actually being celebrated, and it's being praised. Governor, obviously your name has emerged as Secretary of State on the short list. Have you met with Donald Trump?
You know, I'm greatly honored that my name is even in a mix, an expanded large group of people. I have not had the meeting, but I think it's really important, and it says something about the president-elect, that he's taking this job very seriously. He's reviewing the candidates. He's looking at the issues. He's bringing in different voices who maybe look or see differently America's role in the world, and that's a good thing. This is not a position that should be forced on anybody.
Are you expecting to take a meeting with Donald Trump?
Well, I have no idea what lies ahead. You know, for the details, you'll have to talk to the transition team. Obviously, like a lot of other people, when these things happen, your name is floated, and there might be a follow-up call. There might not be. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and Senator Lieberman, let me ask you about your take on what the administration looks like so far. Trump's search for the head of the Secretary of State Department obviously has included a few Democrats, Senator Joe Manchin. But when you look, broadly speaking, at the team he's putting together, what's your reaction?
I think it's mixed, and that's what you'd expect from a president-elect who, in some sense, is an independent. I mean, Donald Trump is not a conventional Republican. He's reflected in some of his early choices, some of the people who supported him. But others, like General Mattis, were not political at all, and I think that's a first-rate appointment. I'm encouraged by the fact that he's taking time in the selection of Secretary of State, because it says that he understands, the president-elect understands, that his relations, our relations with the rest of the world, matter a lot to us. He wants to change them, but he doesn't want to just try to pull in and put a bubble over the United States. So This process has been encouraging. Look, he got elected, and I think all of us, and this is part of what we're saying here at No Labels, whatever your label, you want the new president to succeed, because if he succeeds, America succeeds, and ultimately it has to happen in the center out, and that's what we're trying to create a place for.
Right.
Center right, center left, let's get together, work with the new president, and solve some of our problems and seize some opportunities to get things done.
But